Hey there. Um, Nice to see you. To see you nice. I went out on Saturday night. As you can see, I'm still basking in the fucking excitement of the whole thing. Um, yeah, went out on Saturday night for a meal in Leicester city centre, and you know how this went because of the title of the video. Um, so yeah, we went out to this meal, this steakhouse in Leicester. Ever so nice, really posh. Loved it. Like food was fantastic. Thoroughly recommend. Don't know if you can say the name of the actual establishment on YouTube. I don't want to get myself into trouble. Begins with an M. Um, anyways, so we went there, and I was there late because I didn't realise that it was Ramadan, and I live in Leicester, so the majority of our Uber drivers are Muslims. And couldn't get an Uber. I love no money, so I was late to this dinner. So I turned up and my mates were sat there, and I'm like, I'd already decided what I wanted because they got the menu on the website. So I thought I'll decide what I want before I go, and then jobs are good. So so I went in there, put my coat down and whatever. I desperately needed a pay. I'm like, right, I'll have the gammon. Right, just order for me because everybody's looking at the menu. Went off to the lav. Walked in the toilet. I'm like, oh, where's the toilet? And like somebody went, oh, it's over there. So I went over there, and there's a door with the word toilets on it. And I thought, oh, right, okay. So you go in there, and there's the men's ones to one side and the women's to another, because that's usually what you do when you go in the toilets. And I walked in, and down by this side, there's a couple of disabled toilets. And then all down the bottom, there's just doors, and they've all got like a little circle on with a picture of a man and a woman. And I'm like, are these like unisex toilets? And well, my question was answered, right? Because I walked in there as this dude's walking out. He'd just come round a corner, and I looked at all these doors, and all of these doors were shut. And they've got no little thing on the front that says whether it's occupied or not. So I said to this fella, how do you know if the toilet's free? And he went, just do this, and went smack on this door. Now, if I'd have been in that toilet, I would have shit myself if I weren't already, because he thwacked this fucking door, and then he did it with the one next to it, and it flew open. So he checked inside for me, and he's like, oh, this one's free. I'm like, cheers, mate, cracking. Went in. I'm like, it's the first time I've ever walked in. Well, it's not the first time I've ever walked into the toilet and been faced with a man, because I've been in men's toilets before, and I think we all have, haven't we? Like by accident and stuff like that. It's like, what? No, see the urinals, and you're off. So I went into this toilet, and there's water all over the floor. I'm like, and I am not steady on my feet at the best of the times with the MS and whatever. And I think this is because they're transgender toilets. There's no communal outside. I was in there and out there, mate. I would no, right. So I went to the toilet, and it had me pee, and and I'd got a pantsuit that zipped up the back. Like, what an idiot, am I right? So I just didn't zip it up all night because just wore my hair down the back, and fuck this, because I ain't going round and asking my mate, oh, can you undo me? I need to go to the toilet every night time I need a pee, so who cares, right? But obviously the whole thing, and I'm wrestling with this thing so it don't go on the floor, because the floor was wet through. Now, there's two reasons why the floor could have got wet through. One of them being that there's men in there. Do you see what I'm saying? And there's no urinals. But also, right? It was a regular sized toilet stall, but in all of it must have cost them a fucking fortune, right? Because everyone had a sink unit, like, and a hand soap dispenser and an air dryer. I nearly said hair dryer. And a hand dryer, right? So I'm there and I'm like, well, I don't want to wash my hands if the hair dryer don't work. So I put my hand under it. Boom! It went like this. I literally nearly wet myself again, even though I'd just been to the lab. So loud. Honestly, I was scared the living shit out of me. Twat face over here, put my hand, and I got myself some soap on my hands, and then switched the fucking tap on. Didn't know that the tap was a bit sticky and whatever. So I had to wash my hands when I finally got the tap working, and then wash the bloody thing because it was covered in soap, and dry my hands and go out. And as I went out, there was another bloke coming in. You know, try not to make eye contact. You all right, mate? Yeah, lovely. But one of this hand wash thing, sink, I think they're called, you know, was obviously quite narrow because these were just regular sized toilet stalls, and it's just in there on the thing. So obviously water splash. So this is the other reason why there could have been water all over the floor. But either way, it was just one of the most uncomfortable toilet experiences that I've ever had in my life. And this place was well posh. Not well posh, I've been in posher, but, you know, like it's a posh establishment. And the toilets, obviously, like I say, must have cost an absolute fortune just for however many stalls to have their own hand dryer and their own sink and their own dispenser and whatever. And soap dispenser. And I went back to the thing and I'm like, there's men in there and whatever. Anyway, my mate's boyfriend went there earlier on. He come back, he was even more disgusted than me. He's like, no, like when you're a man, you want to go to the toilet, you want to whip it out, piss in the fucking urinal and come back. Like, he didn't mention washing his hands, but we won't go into that. Right, but it makes it more difficult for the men. Now, obviously, I'm going to get into the transgender issue because this is where the whole thing stems from in the beginning. Inclusivity. And I didn't see in this whole place all night either they were the best transgender person ever or there wasn't one in there. And yet, I had to go to a unisex toilet, a gender-neutral bathroom, I think they're called, are they? I don't know. But my point that I took away from this, because obviously I've heard about this in the news and, you know, like in the media, because that's how we learn as human beings how to behave, is the media and the government telling us what to do. And I'm sorry, but they've got it wrong on this one, right? What percentage of people out on a Saturday night are transgender in Leicester? And I can tell you, you know, like, because, you know, like there are a couple, right? But the whole place having to go in there, right? And what pissed me off the most was the fact that they had no way of showing you whether the toilet was free. Like, that's what pissed me off the most about it. And the fact that, like, literally you wash your hands and you get satched, all in the name of inclusivity. But the thing is, and this is what even I didn't realise this before I was actually in that toilet, right? This isn't about some fat, bold, middle-aged guy with male pattern baldness deciding to put a skirt on and call himself Mandy at the weekends. That was not about that. This toilet didn't just, it might have catered to somebody who might have been like that, but what it actually was full-grown men in the toilet with full-grown women. Like, literally, these were men. It was not inclusivity. These were all of the men. every man in that gaff had to go into a toilet with women. Now, I don't know whether you're familiar with female toilet etiquette, but a lot of times women go to the toilet together to have a little chat about their dates and what their fella's getting up to and whatever, behind his back. You know, girl chat. Stuff that perhaps you don't want your fellas to listen to. But you don't get that. Because we're including these people that weren't there, the people that were there couldn't do the things that they usually do in a toilet. Men couldn't have a pee in a urinal. Now, I said when I went back, literally, if I ever became a millionaire, which is fucking impossible because I don't put the lottery on and whatever. Well, it's not impossible. Nothing's impossible, let's face it. But I would, literally have a house where I put urinals in for blokes that came round, because I think, especially on a night out, when you're drinking, when men are getting drunk, then, it's easier. The whole point of urinals is that you don't need to fucking aim. So these toilets are going to be covered in piss by the end of the night, because men are not the best at aiming in the first place. And a lot of men don't go to the toilet sitting down. Well, unless they're having a bob, obviously. But literally, I walked in there and came face to face with a young man. I'd put him late 20s, I think, somewhere in his 20s, I think, maybe early 30s at a push. Not transgender, a man, a fully functioning heterosexual man. And when I came out of the toilet, there was another fully functioning heterosexual man coming towards me. As I came out, he came in. So what? Rapists don't exist now. And, you know what I mean? Men's toilets are usually dirtier than women's toilets, as a rule, anyway. But you've got gay men having it off. You've got people snorting a line off the back of the lav. Or, you know what I mean? This isn't me getting pissed off at transgender people. This is, I believe that the media say this is woke ideology. They're the words that I've heard a lot, right? And it's like, you cannot say, everybody's like, no, transgender women should be allowed to go into the women's toilets. Let them in the women's toilets. If you want to do that, let them in the women's toilets. But still have women's toilets. You are letting men on a night out get drunk and go to the toilet with women. Not all of them are going to be good guys. And funnily enough, Saturday, I had some dude in my inbox on Facebook. Not a pleasant man. Just decided he wanted to try and woo me. Don't know. Didn't send me a friend request on Facebook. Just sent me a message saying that I looked some nice thing. Usually ignore them, but I said thank you because it was a compliment. And then he was like men do, I like you, therefore you're gonna like me back. I have that so much that men go like, yeah, but I like you. And it's like, I'm sorry, but the feeling isn't mutual. Yeah, but I like you. And I'm like, look, do we have to block? Because I don't block people. Do I have to block you? And like I said, I don't know, did I mention that I had to restrict this Indian dude because he just would not stop. Obviously, Leicester, predominantly Indian. I am an ethnic minority in Leicester, in my hometown, right? And if the English ones are anything like the foreign ones, we're fucked, mate. And But yeah, it's like literally that's what a lot of men these days are like. I mean, like her. I suppose it's the caveman mentality, like me knock you over head, drag you back by your hair to my cave, and you're getting it because I want it. And this all ties in with the Bonnie Blue fucking shit. And Lily Phillips, there you go, have a balaclava, mate. Nobody'll even know it's you, have her. You want her, have her. It's free for all. You know, and while we're promoting that, like, not we, obviously, well, me, you know, I do videos on it and stuff because I want to raise awareness of the fucking route this world is going down, the pan that this world is going down, because it makes no sense. And putting men and women in the same toilets, to me, is utter insanity. And doing it just because the media said, oh, yeah, no, women with penises deserve rights too. Women without them deserve rights too, do we not? Do we not deserve a space where penises aren't there? Just 5 fucking minutes. Give me 5 minutes just with my sisters, just sitting, putting makeup on together, like literally just, you know, chilling out and whatever, without men there overseeing anything. It's like, just, this world is just, at the minute, like, if everything, the men can fucking have it, fuck the women, fuck them all, we mean nothing. And I, you know, and like I said, my friend's boyfriend was equally disgusted from a man's point of view. Not in the same, I don't think he minded going out or going to the toilet, and he never said no about like the fact that there's like pretty young ladies in the toilets as well. But I should imagine it's uncomfortable, like for everybody, except for the 1 in 1,000 person who decides to dress up as the opposite sex. Everybody has to go through this. And I just couldn't believe it. So, I had to do a video on it because I was gobsmacked. Like, literally just walked into this toilet and there's this man right in front of me. A man. And that's okay. That's okay. Because some women have penises and we need to look after them. So fuck women. Like, literally, bring on the matriarchy, mate, because we are, like, literally, the world's gone absolutely effing insane. And I don't think for a minute that you know, like, they're ticking boxes. It's like, look at us, we're inclusive. Cracking, you'll get some transgender people go in there just so they can go to your toilet. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Let's discuss this and let's discuss everything else. Because I'm at a loss for words. And I don't think it's just that I'm an old fuddy-duddy. Do you know what I mean? Because nobody's going to go for me in the toilets anyway. But pretty young girls going in the toilets who they've had a lad out there they're drinking with all night who wants a bit of them, and they're saying like, no, I'm sorry, I don't want it, and that lad's getting increasingly pissed. And they happen to be in the toilet at the same time, and he's like, oh, come on, darling. And she's like, no, get off. I bet there'll be so many bleeding fights in them toilets. Do you know what I mean? It's just, oh, God, please let me know. Please tell me if you think I'm being mental or whether the world's just gone mental. It can't just be me who sees this. Every man in a female space, not just transgender women in a female space. This is every man that they're letting in a female space, no matter what mental health state that they're in, no matter what their sexual proclivity. They're just letting them in. And I personally think that that's fucked up. Fucked up beyond all recognition. So yeah, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you for coming. Please come back. And never forget that I love you all. I just would like a little bit of a break when I have a pee. Do you know what I mean? And also men shit a lot. Big shits. Do you know what I mean? That's usually just the men's toilet where you have to deal with that. But now women have got to go in with a block fucking low and all. Anyway, thank you for coming. Please come back and never forget that I love you all. Bye.